Hey guys, President Bola Tinubu and the Vice President Kassim Shettima have branded the final written address of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi at the Presidential Election Petition Court as a fiction, an expedition, and a frolic of a sort. Welcome back to Prospect Channels TV. Thank you for always coming out here. If you're just joining us, please kindly subscribe and don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you. Tinubu rubbishes Peter Obi, the Labour Party's final address, describe it as fiction. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the Vice President Kassim Shettima have branded the final written address of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi at the Presidential Election Petition Court as a fiction, an expedition, and a frolic of a sort. They said in their response to Obi's final written address that rather than prove the claims in its petition that he won the February 25th election, the petitioners have been so busy and occupied milling around the worn-out and absolute objects of the contrived disqualification of the respondents. They also dismiss as untenable Obi's call for a rerun between him and PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Obi and his party, the respondents, argued, even have no locus standi to present a petition challenging the second respondent. Tinubu, on the purported ground that he did not score 25% of votes cast in the FCT, having been constitutionally barred and excluded from participating in any rerun election in the unlikely event of the court making such an order as Section 134, 3A, B, or in brackets of the Constitution prohibits and exclude him from so doing. Tinubu and Shettima's response was filed on Friday by their lead counsel, Chief Wole Olapekun-San. Olapekun said that in the unlikely event of a rerun, Obi and the Labour Party will be excluded on the strength of provision of Section 134, 3A and B of the Constitution. That part of the Constitution reads, in a default of a candidate duly elected in accordance with subselection 2 of the selection, there shall be a second election in accordance with subselection 4 of the selection, at which the only candidate shall be the candidate who scored the highest number of votes at any election held in accordance with the said selection of the selection 2 of the selection, and one among the remaining candidates who has a majority of votes in the highest number of states. So, however, that where there are more than one candidate with majority of votes in the highest number of states, the candidates among them with the highest total of votes cast at the election shall be the second candidate for the election. Obi and the Labour Party had in their petition asked the court to order a rerun on the grounds that Tinubu did not secure 25% of votes in the Federal Capital Territory FCT. Tinubu and Shettima, however, said in their reply to the final written address by Obi and the Labour Party that the petitioners lack locus standi to present a petition challenging the second respondent, which is Tinubu, on the purported ground that he did not score 25% of votes cast in the FCT. They said that even if a rerun was ordered, Obi can only vote and cannot be voted for, as the due or context will now be between the second respondent and the person who scored the next majority of votes in the highest number of states, 19 states, and who also came second by plurality of votes, that is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Olakbekun said, borrowing the language of the Supreme Court in the celebrated case of Thomas versus Olufasoyi in 1986, 1 NWLR Pet 18 669. The second petitioner, Obi, is a middle son interloper, as he is presenting a case where he was derived no utilitarian value. The respondent urged the court to dismiss the petition on the grounds that not only did the petitioners fail to show that Obi won the election, they failed to prove their case with relevant evidence. Their words, the evidence presented by the petitioners themselves points to the fact that all the electronic processes of accreditation, voting, sorting, counting, entering into the respective form EC8Rs, and manual transfer to the collation centers went smoothly. None of the witnesses called by the petitioners offered any scintilla of evidence to avail the court of the total number of votes that should be due to the petitioners as a result of the non-electronic transmission of results to the IREV and the number of votes that have been unduly credited to the second respondent for the same reason. Law is not, has never been, and will never be an appeal to sentiments and emotions, as the petitioners think or assume that sentiment is a route to persuading the court to give judgment in their favor, Tinubu and Shettima said, in future praying the court to dismiss the petition. So guys, I'm dropping it here. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section. Thank you.